Letourneau doesn't look too bad himself, but yeah, this Caetano looks like he is ready to go.
Igor Caetano is a stud, man. Like, a lot of people don't know about this kid yet. But, you know, this is Professor Silvio Bering's nephew. Like, this kid comes from a line of top-level jiu-jitsu.
And for people at home who do not know who Silvio Bering is, he is the man that gave Fabrizio Verdun his black belt. So needless to say, Caetano is going to have the skills on the mat.
Yeah, he wore a brown belt out to the cage here, and you can see just by the bounce too, you know, striking and working from here is something he's comfortable with. But don't count out David Letourneau, man. This kid is as tough as nails.
And you need to be tough if you want to survive in mixed martial arts. And Letourneau in the red and white shorts. Caetano in the black Vale Tudo shorts.
Letourneau has all of the things you can't teach a fighter. It doesn't matter who he is. He's tough, he's resilient, he's got a chin, he works extremely hard. Look at that nice little counter right hand by David Letourneau. And he comes from that Thunder Bay camp of lunatics. Matt Veal, who we saw with the knockout earlier, and Nathan Gunn, who's a badass in his own right. I mean, these guys are some tough dudes out of Thunder Bay.
Letourneau takes a shot below the belt, and he said he's no worse for wear, and the action resumes.
Igor comes in with 1 win and 1 loss. He did lose in his first fight, but it was in 2007. He's made a lot of improvements as a fighter since then.
I will tell you, it is a kind of a bizarre long stance by Caetano.
And check out, it's Letourneau that's moving forward here. Caetano's looking to circle and move and strike.
Just drops his head and fires some bombs, and then finishes with that low kick to the thigh, and then switches sides to damage up that thigh. Nice, straight to the middle of the body of Letourneau.
Yeah, and check Letourneau out. He is not impressed.
Letourneau looking to throw Caetano.
I've worked with and around Caetano a little bit, and he's skilled everywhere. And a very nice takedown off the cage. Letourneau, though, just not the slightest bit impressed by anything that Caetano's throwing at him. He's extremely tough and extremely calm.
Let's see the submission prowess of Caetano. But it's Letourneau looking to stand up.
If Letourneau can just, yes, he's pushing to his feet now, trying to free that right leg of his. But there it is.
And a solid job by Letourneau as he forces Caetano to fight off of the cage now.
It's always that much more impressive when you got two guys like us talking about somebody who's, you know, a brown belt level guy who trains with some top guys, and this kid out of Thunder Bay is able to get back to his feet and do the hard work. Very impressed with this David Letourneau.
Shot to the midsection by Letourneau. Both guys jockeying for position.
Yeah, Letourneau's been the one coming forward, really putting a lot of pressure. Right now, Caetano got the takedown, and he threw the sharper strikes, but Letourneau's the one pushing the pace.
Looking for that trip takedown is Igor Caetano.
Both guys showing a really good...
and a solid job by Caetano. If the cage wasn't there, that would have been a perfectly placed throw.
Now look at the hip pressure he's using. That is very nice technique. And Caetano able to get almost to the mount there, but he's in the top half guard here. He does look very, very good, but I'm very impressed with Letourneau off the bottom.
That's CFC head honcho, Giuseppe Denatale, correct?
Yeah, there he is on the left side of the screen. He has two facial expressions, angry and murder. Very nice scramble here. Letourneau fighting very well off the bottom against the high-level brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This is a very close fight. Don't let the body types fool you or the background. You're not going to beat Letourneau very easily. And Caetano's going to be pushed to the limit here.
Letourneau looking to stand up again, and he does. He eats some shots. And again, Caetano looking to get the fight down to the ground. Controlling. Now is Caetano. Solid display of grappling skills as he looks to get the full mount on Letourneau.
Another interesting tidbit here. Igor Caetano's training partner, Vanya Vodvodik, who is fighting Chris Stranger later on the card, he has a win over Letourneau, so he may have given him a little bit of insight into some of his tendencies.
The full mount now. Letourneau forced to give up his back. Not a wise decision, but with only 10 seconds left in the round, can Letourneau survive?
He's doing all the right things, so he's got two hands on the one, and he's keeping that arm on the other side of his neck, so he will survive. So, he got a couple of takedowns. He was able to do damage from the top. And look at Letourneau, still coming forward, still wanting to throw that right jab.
Again, nice inside leg kick by Caetano.
This is an interesting matchup because, Caetano comes in here with the training and the size and the skills, and Letourneau brings, aggressiveness and toughness and small-town heart into this fight, and it's making for a great fight.
And the willingness to engage.
Absolutely. Man, when you get in there with Nathan Gunn or Letourneau or Veal, these guys, they're coming at you, man.
But he can't continue to eat those shots in the thigh. That will take away from his power.
Absolutely.
It'll take away his ability to shoot and eventually his ability to stand.
Nice little counter rights out of Letourneau. Caetano's coming with some very, very tough heat on these punches, and Letourneau's able to counter with the little right hand.
Nice shot by Caetano, and gets the single leg and forces Letourneau to his back. Open guard. Letourneau thinking about a guillotine, but...
Look at that scramble. Just very impressive.
And a nice job by Caetano. But again, this kid is legit.
He really is. I mean, this is a tough kid. This just shows you the level that guys are at. These guys are 1-1 and 2-1, and look at the skill set that they both come in here with. Different types of fighters, but both very top-level guys. When you look at them, when you look at the way they move, when you look at their body types, you get the feeling that it'll be Caetano who moves forward and maybe becomes a force in his career. But at this stage, a guy like Letourneau is no slouch for anybody. He's a speed bump that will stop you if you can't get past him, and a great test for a guy like Igor Caetano here.
He's got his hands up high, looking for some big shots, and Caetano does eat those shots right to the face. He can't allow that to happen too often.
Yeah, most guys won't be able to do that on a guy of his skill level, but Letourneau wills himself in there. He's willing to get hit on the way in, and he does what he's got to do.
And it looks like Caetano might be fading just a little bit in the second round, as the mustard doesn't seem to be on his shots as much as they were in that first.
He's showing angles a lot. Every time you see an engagement, he moves out on a little different angle, and that is dictating how this striking is taking place. We did see that flurry out of Letourneau, but it's still Caetano who's kind of controlling what's going on here to some degree.
And a couple of punches like that could change the judges' minds, and we saw another big breath from Caetano.
Again, I'm talking about the technician work that Igor's doing, and then David comes flying across there and just throws some angry schoolyard punches, and that will impress the judges every single time.
And there, a big, wide overhand right, misses the mark. And Robin, those shots, when you throw everything into it, takes some zing out of your step.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes a lot more gas to miss a punch than to land a punch, because not only do you have to bring it back, but it goes twice as far, and it never does sort of get that payoff at the end, and it truly is more tiring.
And Letourneau able to slip away from the grasps of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt.
This is a very close round. Caetano dictated the beginning of the round, and right now, just with his guts, Letourneau's trying to dictate the second half.
Robin, I will have to say it is Letourneau that is pulled ahead in this second round. So, even though there's just over a minute left in this second, I'd have to believe this fight thus far is an even one.
Yeah, it's starting to take shape like a fight that could go the distance. If somebody's able to get a really authoritative shot here or a gigantic takedown and do some work in the last minute, they might win this round. Otherwise, you're right. It's starting to lean towards Letourneau from, minute 2 on.
Because as you see, it is Letourneau that is moving forward. He landed a couple of shots there. They were blocked, but when Caetano tried to fire back, it was nothing but air.
With the way Caetano circles around, he changes the angle of this fight. And, that's good ring generalship, but you got to do damage while you're doing that.
You have to score with something.
And he just remembered about low kicks there. Well, let's see if he goes back to that. You know, you're in there. You're in the frenziness. You're in the craziness in there. And you don't get to do all the things you like to do on a kicking pad or, you know, when you're hitting bags.
But, Robin, it's hard to set up and it's hard to do stuff when you're constantly being stalked unless you decide to counter effectively. And right now we're not seeing that from Igor Caetano.
Yeah, it's just the good hard work of David Letourneau.
Round number 2 in the books. When we come back, center in Manitoba, as we are set for round number 3 between David Letourneau and Igor Caetano. And Robin, I have it even going into the third.
Yeah, Igor Caetano definitely dictated round 1. He got a number of takedowns, did some real damage. But Letourneau really turned it up in the second half of that round, so it very well may be even on the judges' cards. Caetano has a lot more bounce back to start round 3.
A much-needed break for Caetano.
And Letourneau he's just one of these guys who's thinking, I'll take what you got, and then I'm going to throw 2 punches. And that's been his game plan, and it's been working very well against the talented Brazilian Igor Caetano. Again, Caetano is using those angles. He's circling around. You know, it's frustrating if you're Letourneau coming directly forward that if you can't catch him, but you have to be able to move with him as he circles. Caetano lands a nice right hook there, but you're going to have to do more than that with Letourneau. This is a tough dude.
Everything has to be timed perfectly. We know Letourneau is a guy that is going to move forward the entire time. So I think for Caetano, for him to drop his head like that, might not be the best decision.
Caetano's landing some leg kicks, and Letourneau's not able to land anything because of his movement so far. And that may be the game plan for round 3, is get a few kicks in, get some jabs in.
Win the round.
Yeah, and win the round, right? Because what did we learn about Letourneau if you're Caetano's camp? You've learned that he just comes forward. So keep turning him to his side. See, that's what he's doing right now. He's turning him to his side away from that power hand. And so far, Letourneau has landed nothing. And then good defense again. Very interesting, this third round. See, picking away at him here.
And when you talk about effective striking, it's been Caetano, and Caetano now scores with that takedown, although Letourneau is able to get right back to his feet, so that must weigh in the judges' minds as well.
Yeah, this is, we've got 3 minutes left. Who wants it worse is going to be the question, as well as who's smarter with it. You've got to make intelligent decisions in here. Exhausted, tired, sore. You've got to do the right things.
Right now, I do believe it's Caetano who is winning this round, but that could change with a big shot from Letourneau.
Yeah, Caetano lands at the big right now. Letourneau is still doing exactly the same thing. He's moving forward. He's using that intensity and that desire. But so far, Caetano's frustrating him a little bit. So he's circling. I mean, at some point, you do have to engage. So he's playing a very careful game. He's playing, within the rules and figuring out how to make sure he wins this fight. And landing those leg kicks. We're now 3 minutes in, and so far Letourneau's been very frustrated.
A little shot to the thigh, but they all add up. A nice combination there by Letourneau, blocked though by Caetano. And Caetano moves forward.
Yeah, this is game planning. This is coaching. This is, what you've got in your corner. In between rounds, they said, you've got to land and get away. And that's what Caetano's been doing. And his defense is very good. Nothing has gotten through yet, and he's had that takedown. And 3.5 minutes have ticked by. This is showing some very, very smart tendencies in this young fighter.
Robin, I have to believe that Letourneau needs to finish his opponent if he wants to pull out the victory with only 1:15 left in this third round.
That's the feeling I'm getting, but Letourneau could land a big shot and end up flurrying on top or get the takedown and flurry from there. One good, strong last minute by David Letourneau could win him this fight. But right now, Igor Caetano's frustrating him.
1 minute left in the third and final round. Does Letourneau have enough in his gas tank to put the fury on his opponent.
Well, we've been very impressed with his heart and his desire to come forward. But Caetano and his team have now started to use that against him in this third round. And, it's starting to look like it's Caetano's fight. Very smart fight. Very impressed.
If Caetano can manage to get a takedown here, I would almost imagine that would seal the deal. But Letourneau continues to chase his foe.
Yeah, we were impressed by Caetano's fitness in his first round, but I'm equally as impressed by his intelligent work here in the third round to, by our cards, secure this win. But we're not the judges.
There we saw Letourneau, I think his arms are just a little too short. And he eats a straight right hand by Caetano, and there we hear the bell, which signifies the end of the round and the end of the match. And I would be very surprised if this bout went any other way.
These two athletes one more time. We have a split decision. Referee Jared Malell scores the fight 29-28, Caetano. Referee Dan Roach scores the fight 29-28, Letourneau. Referee Greg Jackson scores the fight 29-28 for your winner by split decision, Igor Mamute Caetano.
Put your hands together for both of these two men that just fought their hearts out for you.